During the time I was on the Arthur Godfrey show, and I have a lot of stories about Arthur, we'll do that later. But one day while I was doing the show, I got a call from Washington, D.C. The caller was a congressman named the Honorable Mike Irwin of Ohio. He said he was a fan of mine and he was calling to invite me to Washington to sing at a dinner for President Kennedy. Talk of shock. I didn't know what to say. I was only in the country about 6 months. Finally I said, of course. I was delighted beyond words. When was the dinner? When? March 17th. I sat there stunned. I'm going to sing for the President of the United States. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm only in America about 6 months. I called my father in Ireland and told him, Dad, I'm going to sing for the President. And he said, the President of what? I said, of America. He said, this is no time to be joking. This is a long-distance call and costing a fortune. Finally, I convinced him. Oh, my Lord. And now to get ready for this great event, a new gown, lose a few pounds, new shoes. In retrospect, I would never advise this. A lot of pinching and pain goes on, especially those high-heeled shoes of the 60s. They were made for people with one toe. The day before the big event, my husband Bill and I flew to Washington, D.C. and arrived at the Shoreham Hotel where reservations were made. We unpacked our bags, we went downstairs to look around and have a bit of dinner. In the lounge there was a pianist singing, so we went to listen to him. He was very witty and his material was political satire. His name was Mark Russell. We loved him. The 17th arrived, I got ready for rehearsal, very anxious, a wreck, but everything went pretty well. I met the master of ceremonies. He was a charming man who also sang. His name was Morton Downey. Yes, the father of that one. This particular event was a dinner for governors from every state and, of course, for President Kennedy. So it was all men. Not a woman in sight except for myself. 2 security men took me to a back passage and said we'd wait there for the President. He'd like to talk to me in private. Oh my God. It was like a dream, a lovely, exciting dream. At the same time, I was very anxious about meeting him. What would I say and how would I say it? My mind went blank from worry. Suddenly, there he was, handsome and smiling at me. We were introduced and he took my hand and said, "Hello, Carmel. I'm very happy to meet you." Now, anyone who knows me will tell you I'm not usually at a loss for words, but in this case, not a sound came out of me. I just grinned idiotically, murmuring sounds like, oh Lord, I hate to think of it even now. And of course, later on at home in my kitchen, the words flowed from me. It is indeed a pleasure, an honour, and a privilege. President Kennedy asked me where I was from, what county. Well, how long in the US, did I like it? Lots more, and me going, yeah. I did say Dublin, yes. Then he said, "Will you sing Galway Bay for me?" Oh, yes. He chatted on for a while and then the Secret Service took him away to sit with all the governors who had already started to eat. Now my show was started right after the dessert. Not a bad spot because your audience is mellow, filled with contentment and sugar. I am waiting at the back of the stage, nervous as can be. God, please God. My shoes and dress have become mysteriously tighter. I always pray before going on, but this time I threw in an extra few for good measure. Because remember, these are all politicians. And now I know, now I'm old and wise, they are all actors themselves, and they're all wheeling and dealing with each other. Well, I mean, their own mother could get up there and they wouldn't know. But however, I'm standing back and suddenly one of the governors leaves his table and goes out to the restroom area. He spotted me behind the curtains and roared jovially, "Hey, Carmen! Great show! You were terrific!" I hadn't gone on yet. I was puzzled by this, but collected myself quickly and in reply said, "Thank you, sir. Sir, did you like the special request I sang for you?" This would have stopped most people, but never missing a beat, he said, "Darling, I loved it." Well, can you beat that? I hadn't even been on yet, hadn't done a thing, and he telling me that I was terrific. Suddenly, I started to laugh, and relief came over me. My nervousness and fear vanished, and I realized it's not that important. I'm not that important. So I went on happy, relaxed, and laughing. I made them laugh too, for I told them this very story. Sure, it's maybe someday I'll go back to Ireland, if it's only at the closing of my day, just to see again the moon rise over Claddagh and watch the sun go down on Galway Bay.